turns out that the methods that we used on Jose Padilla, who was a United States citizen that George Bush called an enemy combatant and kept in a 9-foot by 7-foot cell for 307 days in a row. So get that. No natural light, no clock, no calendar, no padding for his bed, nothing, okay? No. And again, just think about a 9-foot by 7-foot cell. A human being barely fits in a 9-foot by 7-foot cell. And he was kept there in the dark for 1,370 days. And every once in a while,
I took it he had a light.
There's no natural light.
Right.
From time to time,
I'm sure
they
there was
have
an overhead light.
Overhead
yeah.
light, right. But basically what they did was, and this is on purpose, sensory deprivation. He doesn't talk to anybody. There's no natural light. There's no nothing in there, okay? He's just sitting in the cell by himself all day long. And then they bring him out in these heavy goggles and the headset, so he, again, sensory deprivation, can't see anybody, can't hear anybody. Then they bring him into a room, and they blast incredibly loud music and really harsh lights. And you think, God, this is kind of goofy. I wonder where they came up with this. And I know because I thought that. I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. And where did they even come up with this crazy stuff?
Right. And why?
Okay, so Naomi Klein, great piece, found out where they did come up with it. It was a person who's called an infamous researcher in the 1950s and early 1960s did experiments on sensory deprivation for the Pentagon and found out that this is how you can drive people insane. He said it leads to schizophrenia, and he threw in electroshocks and PCP and LSD on top. Now, as far as we know, we've never heard stories about Padilla or anybody else getting electroshocks. But he was also given what they call truth serum, which was likely to be LSD. So they did almost experiments from the 1950s to drive people insane, almost word for word, not only on Padilla, but on hundreds and maybe thousands of detainees. The only reason we know of Padilla for sure is because he's a U.S. citizen, and eventually the Supreme Court made them bring Padilla into an actual courtroom, where we found out, by the way, he was not a dirty bomber, and they'd made up all the evidence against him. I mean, look, again, think about it. You remember when the Germans did stuff like this? And then they had the crazy scientists in the 1940s, which, by the way, are not that far from the 1950s, and they paid them to come out with how to drive people crazy or to do different experiments on them. We had the same guys, and okay, it was in the 1950s in the past. I get it. They screwed up, right? They took those and they applied it today. Why? Now, you might say, well, they didn't know. But they did know. Here's what the Army Field Manual said just last year, okay? Sensory deprivation may result in extreme anxiety, hallucinations, bizarre thoughts, depression, and antisocial behavior, as well as, quote, significant psychological distress. They knew they were driving him crazy. What are you going to get out of a crazy person?
That's what I don't understand, is that theoretically, the only reason that you could do it, I mean, I always want to know why. Why would you, and if I presume the answer will be, we thought he had valuable information and we wanted to break him, so he'd relay the valuable information. It would save American lives. I mean, that's the only possible explanation. Are you really thinking that you might get useful information from some guy who's hallucinating?
And by the way, they now say Padilla is not only, went through all of those cycles, but is at this point what they called a piece of furniture. He can't respond to anything. The man's brain is turned to mush. What are you going to get out of that guy?